Hey everybody, welcome to episode 176 of Tactical Crouch. Kickedtripod here with Yiska and Volamel. It's good to see you all. Overwatch League is alive and thriving. Although those VCT Masters numbers are pretty insane for Reykjavik.
They're doing pretty well, and it does look sick.
Lands. The storylines are so fun. The lands, how much meme content have we gotten out of players like waving to each other from across the room? Yeah.
Something we hope to get back to soon.
Yeah, we're almost there. Fingers
crossed.
I want to say this. I'm really proud of you and Yiska, Joe. I used to have to mute your guys' mics during the intro music because you would always just start moving around and coughing and go right into the mic and just go for some reason you needed to do that right into the mic, and I haven't had to do that for the last 3-4 months. So
let's
taught us well.
Good job.
Taught us well.
Todd, let's behave.
Good job, guys. Hey, welcome to episode 176. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping things. The show is supported by our patrons. If you like the show, go to patreon.com/tacticalcrouch. You can also follow us on Twitter at tactical_crouch. And you can find the show on YouTube at youtube.com/tacticalcrouch. Make sure to leave a sub there, please. And thank you. It's a great way to consume the show. We do more than just the headcam things for the show. We throw up spreadsheets and clips and stuff like that. We try to make it a nice visual experience for you. So if you want to experience that way, youtube.com/tacticalcrouch. The show also records live every Wednesday at noon Pacific. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, or 9 p.m. CET for those of you across the pond. And you can watch and listen to the show anywhere you can find podcasts. So make sure to do that as well. Let's jump into the news, and a big thank you to our patron producers: Refined Bean, Ferdino, Battlecrab Lotion, Rex Zane, Sir Girthalot, Pork Chop Sammy, Kosh67, Shara, Nathan, Your Misery, Fabled Steven, Roger B, Chris R34444, Bronzebot, Boohow, Hotel Bravo 11, Hunter Tane, Yiska's Opper Scented Shower Gel, and Chonk. Appreciate you.
Chonk.
Y'all, and Chonk. Just ended on Chonk. Anyways, we've got a lot to talk about.
Got some news.
And I think we're going to go at it from a little bit different order than we have in the notes. I want to talk about the Overwatch 2 stream first. Sure. And then we'll talk about if we want to talk
start
about
with the insufferable little German man who just, you get 2 doses of him this episode. It's going to be, it's the worst.
It's so obnoxious when I'm constantly right, isn't it?
Constantly is a little charitable, I suppose.
Never fail. Just the
wait, were we wrong?
I think
never, not once in the history of this podcast.
But did we? Let me preface this because people are lost already. Overwatch 2 has been announced, and the really big splash announcement is that Overwatch 2 is moving to a 5v5 format. 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 supports. And Yiska,
don't mind me, that's just
seems
my
to
I told
just
you so
own this prediction as if it was
No, I don't. Actually, Eric did it, but I will say, check out June 2020, I talked about the possibility that it will be 4v4. Now, if you'll watch the PvP stream, they even talked about the possibility and that they tinkered around with that particular iteration as well. So, I mean, I even said it on TCP. I couldn't find the episode, but if you didn't think they weren't tinkering around with the amount of players that were going to join each match in PvP as well, you weren't paying attention. The signs were clearly there, to me anyway.
Yeah. I think what they are really going to do is they're gonna keep it at 5v5.
Hmm?
Insert a buy between rounds. We'll just go pure deathmatch.
Okay.
Um,
Will there be some sort of nondescript explosive object?
yeah, you will actually put someone will pick up a payload and you bring it and you detonate it on the site.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But you don't actually traverse with it. A, B, C sites, type of thing.
Yeah.
5v5. You die once, you're done for the round. First to 13, I think, win by 2.
I mean, you can Mercy
Sounds
Res
pretty good.
if you'd pick Mercy.
Yep, Mercy still has a res. Reinhardt is much smaller
Deleted.
and has a gun.
Gave Ryan a Glock. Cool.
Yeah, I think everyone just starts with pistols, and
Understandable.
I think that's the next logical step in iteration.
The next game mode.
Overwatch.
I guess you can't call it assault, but yeah. How do you think about it? What's your thoughts?
I'm
Knee-jerk reactions? Anything?
it's weird because it feels so I'm like arbitrarily connected to 6v6 for some way. I don't think the game is good right now. I think that drastic measures need to be made, and I totally am willing to say fine, just go 5v5, whatever. But I don't have a strong philosophical feeling that yes, this is what we were missing. I'm so glad the devs finally saw this glaring hole and did it. It very much, even in the in the stream, it felt a little like we didn't know what else to do, so we did this. And I don't know how I feel about that, but that's also just my interpretation. That's nothing on, that's just how I felt. That's not necessarily how they communicated it or anything. I'm willing to try it. My Zarya, I don't know if my Zarya is very happy. My 300 hour character, but
yeah, for sure.
Know. We'll see. I'm okay with it. I think, I think it's really easy to say 5v5 fixes a lot of problems, or, it doesn't solve any of the problems. And I see so many people having very contrite
definitive
opinions on
Yeah.
both sides of those that are just it's just so we don't know. Basically what we're saying is we don't know. And whatever, we'll figure it out. And we'll go through it together, and hopefully it's a good change and people want to keep playing Overwatch for years and years to come. That's all I care about.
Crossed. Fingers crossed. Hopefully they can kind of push it back into the mainstream a little bit farther. Hopefully it does well. It sucks that there will definitively, I think we can all agree that there, with a fundamental change that is going to kind of rock the competitive landscape, and there will be kind of losses. It sucks. I don't think flex tanks are just going by the wayside. For a more in-depth take, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you can look at some of the content that I've written. You can look more there. I think things will change, but I think it'll hopefully be healthy. Would you say that you lean kind of more positively, John?
I think so, but I think just because I don't think that the game gets fixed long term without a drastic corner turn, rather than just trying to constantly, you've got it's so dumb. A manager I had when I was working at a company was, you talk about if you go off from a port and you just change, and you go straight. If you change your bearing by just 1 degree at any point, the closer you are to your destination, the less error there is for that. So if you start at 1% from the port, you end up being thousands of miles off from your actual destination. And so I don't see where these small late 1% corrections are more valuable than just, you know what, like let's just take the big change.
Yep.
Let's go for it. Let's embrace it. And you know, it came with a lot of. I don't know if a lot of Overwatch players, you know, there are Overwatch players who love the game right now. They really love the game right now. And I don't think that a lot of those Overwatch players and even like esports people understand like the current danger that Overwatch is in from like a long-term viability perspective. And it's really tough because I'm like, I loved Cataclysm in World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I loved it because that was my expansion. That was when I started. Shadow Priest were good. It was the first time I rated hardcore, and because of that, I loved it. But you go and look back, and Cataclysm is not looked at very fondly from a gameplay perspective, and broadly overall from the community. And to say, like, to quote unquote save the game, these drastic measures need to be made. It's not about the 20 spots in Overwatch League that, you know, people are talking about removing, and this is just the way to cut salary and stuff on the Overwatch League, which was the dumbest thing I have read on the internet. I think maybe all time.
That shit must have been bait. That must have been bait.
It had
it's
to
impossible
have been.
for it to not be bait.
It had to have been. I couldn't even take it seriously. But yeah, I think that's just kind of where it is. So I'm leaning more positively because I don't know what a less drastic or more drastic change would be just generally anyways. Like what's the other drastic change that could potentially resolve it?
I mean, I like it, if you go back and listen to like our preview of like what could happen, I definitely think I still stick with the idea that like anything's on the table. I think if they were just going to, I think there are ways that they could like not kill heroes, but just remove them and add them back in later after like retuning them or balancing them, or, you know, just kind of announcing that, hey, we missed the mark on this. Maybe that could have been a feeling of, or could have measured up to the same feeling, because now it does feel like a sequel. Like having a sound redesign and having whatever else they want to add into the game, having a new game mode, it doesn't necessarily feel like a second game so much as it's like a big revamp. This feels like a new game. This is a brand new experience. It's going to, you know, really change how Overwatch is viewed and played. I'm of the opinion as of right now that it should be for the better, for people that are more inclined to, you know, big hero plays, lots of flashy plays, definitely more FPS centric, still holding within the hero based kind of resource trading model. I still think that's going to be there. I think that's, you know, a staple of just the genre at this point. But yeah, at the outset, without having much of any information, in many heroes to be redone and reworked and rebalanced and retuned, it seems positive, at least, you know, from my perspective. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think like first off, I think this is a step in the right direction. I've said for a long time that like decomplexifying this game will help viewership tremendously. I also find like that 6 players such an unusual amount that it's probably harder to find friends for. It's also as you said, like this is now, I now believe that Overwatch 2 can be a boost to the PvP player and viewership because it is such a new game. Now the discourse around this is really confusing and seems to be super like
isn't that just our
jumping
community though?
It's like
it feels just like our community though.
The first thing that doesn't parse for me is saying that off tanks are in particular the dudes that are going to,
you know, where that comes from,
not have a job. What? Where?
When you hear that a tank role is being removed,
right?
Emotionally, the knee jerk goes to, oh my god, my favorite player is now forced to retire.
Right, but why the off tank role?
That's just what they move to. They're like, you can't really conceive of Overwatch, even though we've seen it some minor times, of the game without a barrier. So I think in their minds, they think Ryan, Winston, Sigma, Orisa, that's going to be a staple pick that can't change. What can change is Diva, Roadhog. All those are going to go by the wayside, which I believe is incorrect thinking. But this is, putting, empathizing with these people. I think that's where the knee-jerk reaction goes to is, oh my God, I'm a Space fan. I'm a Fury fan. My favorite player is now out of a job.
I mean, okay, that in itself is a little bit like the super high level players. They have such deep skill set. They're not going to be. They're less likely.
Nope.
So let's say, okay, let's think about this. So someone like Fury has higher job security than, for instance, someone like Jerry would have.
Yeah.
In Overwatch 2. That seems really obvious to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself was weird that it was all like put onto the off tank.
So wait. Can you, because I think I understand what you're saying, but I know a lot of people are not going to understand what you're just saying.
Right.
Why is it that a DPS person who is still going to have 2 slots in Overwatch 2, their job is less safe than a tank role where there's only going to be 1 slot and presumably with less tank, with the less chunky tank that you have? The assumption is the less viable off tanks become because they aren't very good standalone tanks on your own, and you kind of go to this more chaotic, like if it were going to be an off tank sliding into that main tank role, you would have this much more chaotic gameplay experience than you have with Overwatch now for the most part.
Yeah. So that's the second point. It's like, with the amount of changes coming in, with 5v5 coming in, with the complexities of that coming in, it isn't just about tanks. Everyone is on the chopping block. This is a different game now. Like, let me tell you the story of WhoRu of GC Busan, who once was the best off-tank in the world. Then they changed like the duration of Matrix by a couple of seconds. The role completely switches, and this kid is permabenched on London. Yep. Fair enough to Fury, right? Small changes can do that. Now, okay, let's think about bigger changes. Let's think about the careers that died because of goats. Can I also think about like how maybe like people like Corey wouldn't have had the opportunity,
Sure.
though fair enough, he played in season 3. Like how that impacted careers. This change is a completely different ballgame. Bro, role lock, like no hero limits, like hero bans all muddled together is not as impactful as this update that's coming in. We're changing everything apparent, like everything is on the table in terms of like how class design works. We're talking about redesigns of entire roles with Bastion. We are removing a role, the interplay of that. We're introducing completely new maps that have different requirements in terms of like how much space they do. They talk about how their gameplay is already very different, like going into chokes, pulling back, pulling into this choke, pulling back, a lot of flanking, whatnot. A lot less anchoring. Everything is about to change, and only the most skilled people, of which I think Fury is one, will be able to weather the storm. Like, for instance, someone like Prophet, like someone like Birdring, someone like basically like think of the KDP roster, and you're probably pretty like Kondu Panthera of season 2, and you're probably pretty golden in terms of like career longevity. These are high skilled people that can adapt to pretty much everything that's being thrown at them. And they could probably also go pro in another esport. Those are the people that won't have a problem. Now, someone that is arguably like slightly above average, where the rogue will completely change in the requirements. There's no anchoring anymore. You got to be on those flanks. The systems change completely. Dude, like, we might as well call the GOAT of Overwatch 1. Like,
yeah.
Slice that up. Like after the season, we sit down, we decide it's Prophet, and then we start with Overwatch 2. But
so, like to try and make sure I parse that correctly, you're saying Jerry is less safe not because he's a DPS player and that somehow correlates and DPS players are less safe. It's just that overall the talent bank or whatever that Jerry has compared to somebody like Fury is just less. And so you believe somebody like Fury, an off tank like Fury, is able to adapt much better than somebody like Jerry, who does well in his specific position, but it's a specific position.
Like, think about, for instance, players like Hafikul or RCK, right?
Mm-hmm.
These players were like out of role lock. These were players that could play Sombra or DPS, but who could also play off tank. That is valuable in a meta where you might have to switch that in a map. Now you can't anymore. They are hard nerfed, right? Currently, the game, like, there is a next level of complexity about, like, for instance, someone like Alarm will be, sure. Of course, Alarm will still be there, but one of his key features, the ability to track what is going on the field with like unreal computational power and make the best decisions out of like what 11 other people are doing on the playing field. Speed chessing in his mind will be nerfed because there's then suddenly only 9 other people on the field, right? And the impact of that will be less noticeable. Now, of course, Alarm has skills in all he's pretty much maxed out everywhere, so he will be fine. But you get the drift, right? Like the respective requirements for skill sets of like managing the chaos and like everything else will have to be reevaluated. And then we're getting new balance designs. And I mean, the tank role, as it looks, like they talk about introducing brawlers. It sounds like we're getting back away from anchoring. Getting away from anchoring in Overwatch, like, is nuts to a DPS player in this current discussion, right? Once again, we don't know anything, which is why like these situations or these talks are really weird. But there's no doubt in my mind that we buried careers with that announcement, of course, because things are changing. And
it's just not the one.
Like I said, like yeah, not just yeah. In my mind, the main tank player is less suited to what they described the new role to be than the off tank player would be.
Agreed. I think. Would you agree to the idea that their careers aren't necessarily buried, but a majority of their starting time might be, depending.
I mean, the teams will be smaller, right? We can.
I think we'd agree. I think we'd all agree that teams probably coming into the first season of Overwatch League in Overwatch 2, probably teams could be considered smaller for sure. But with the balance changes, with how much is on the table that is set to be changed, I don't think one that specializes in traditional flex tanks and one that specializes in traditional main tanks on your roster is all that crazy to think about.
I mean, right now we already have half of the teams in Overwatch League already have depth at the tank role, beyond like the initial 2. So over half have that. It's not. Yep. But I mean, like I can totally see that. Oh, because it's 5 per team now, they changed the max roster size to 10, just to keep it double. So your max roster size is double that. So, like, I can totally see them going that route. It probably, like, if you want to just be a real hole about it, like, yes, there's probably, assuming no expansion teams, there's going to be less people in the Overwatch League.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Post Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Then there will be. And again, assuming that we don't have, again, we could, like they said, the ideal number of teams is 28. So
yeah, I cannot imagine
that. Then again, like I feel like this call to make teams mean and lean that came like top down and was communicated to teams is sort of already like a little bit with the idea. I guess you gotta cut down some costs this season, but it also like it doesn't hurt as bad when if you would have otherwise downgraded from 12 players now to probably 7 or 8, right? So like the worst is probably over, and we kind of lessened the blow already this season by sizing down. But I'm pretty confident that it will size down further, especially in the Eastern region where there's a lot of teams with 12 players. I don't think 12 players will even be the maximum anymore. Like logically,
Like
it would
John
have
said,
to be
yeah.
10.
Yep.
So yeah, so we're like in this space at the moment where I think a lot of careers will be second guessed, and then it also really depends on the timing. Like if this game, let's say the beta of this game drops a week after the season concludes, then you already have a representative talent pool by the time the Overwatch League starts next year. Right? If it drops February and you got to start your league in April, then a lot of the old guard will hold over because they are your best bet. Even though half of those, at least, we're resetting. We're while not hard resetting, where we are like at the point where TF2 players come into Overwatch 1 and try to, or like, you know, CS or whatever kinds of players.
Sure.
We're not resetting to that degree. We're soft resetting, and everyone will have to justify their starting spot again. It doesn't matter who you are.
I think maybe that's where we disagree, because I do think this is a hard reset. I don't think it'll be to the degree that like other people from other games are going to come over, because like this is the hot new property. I think everybody probably has some sort of memories or taste left in their mouth from Overwatch. So I don't think people are just going to jump to like this new fresh game like we did when the base Overwatch game, it's weird to even say that now, kind of came out. But yeah, I do think this is going to be a hard reset. Vanilla Overwatch. Yeah, I think this is a hard reset. I think that the game is going to completely change. I think it's going to test for a very different skill set. And, all I'm saying, Dallas, it's just funny that you pick up Pine, a couple weeks before this announcement of 5v5 and things get a little bit more FPS-y. I'm just saying, maybe you want to look into it. Maybe you just want to put on a tinfoil hat, come join the club. That's all I'm saying.
I just want to add one thing to chat. The people who are using the total amount of heroes as dictating the roster size slots is not the right way to think about this.
Think about how many teams don't like actually use their bench.
Yeah, there's, like I said, the average team size is 9, and that's anchored by I think two or three teams that are running 12, and everyone else is running like 7, 8, and 9. So
agreed.
Looking at it and going, every team needs to plan for every single character is just not realistic. Even right now, how many teams have somebody who's just like a Junkrat specialist? Houston. And even then, it's like, do you need one? Do you really need somebody who can do that? And there's multiple. There's I could do half a dozen to probably 10 heroes who fit that build. And kind of earlier to Yiska's point, adaptability is important. And just because they don't have a hero in their pocket now doesn't mean that they don't have the hero in their pocket ever. Think of players like Hydration who have kind of flexed around all 3 roles and just kind of picked up heroes that they never have played before and are playing it. So I totally hear what you're saying, but that should not be the measurement stick that you use to kind of discuss roster sizes. Like, it's much more feasible to discuss roster sizes based off of the number of heroes or roles you can field at one time. It's kind of like, imagine changing how many people can stay on the football team based off of all the different attributes of a football player, rather than, well, we have 11 people on each side of the ball for 3 different, or I guess 4 different kind of variable play type setups: offense, defense, special teams, that kind of stuff. So
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know when they're going to change the roster size or if, but I would bet that they do. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about the Overwatch 2 stream? I'm sure everybody else has kind of seen the new maps. They talked a little bit more about push. That was fine. We've got some stuff from the AMA. I don't think that they really revealed all that much, except we have a new Overwatch 1 feature coming soon, which we don't know really a whole lot about that. So anyways, I think that's kind of it. Do we want to go into some Overwatch League stuff?
I think the last note that I'll add is it's the one thing that I am excited about is to get my hands on some of the new changes. Obviously, with like Ryan's new changes, Zarya's new changes, Winston having like more range added to his kit. That's super exciting. With his new right click ability, that's super cool. That's definitely something that I've been pushing for a long time, is giving these like dated main tanks some sort of agency. Give them something more. When you compare Winston and Reinhardt to somebody like Sigma, you can see that like this game has suffered a severe amount of power creep, and hopefully that's maybe what a possible new tank could look like in the future. Somebody that has a full kit, that's a little bit fully loaded, that isn't super scary when you put him alongside, or them alongside something like a Diva or a Sigma, where it's just like, oh my god, these guys do too much. We can't balance this. I don't know how to deal with these without gutting them and making them horrible. Now that we just have one tank, we can give all of these tank players, you know, a barrier and a bunch of other things to do, instead of just being Reinhardt, where he just walks in with a rectangle and, you know, hope for the best. Hope your team's actually got a couple brain cells, you know, packed up, because it's pretty frustrating when you don't do anything and you're kind of just at the beck and call of your team. So it's exciting. I'm here for it. So excited to see what happens.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, let's talk about last week's a little bit. Let's go to stage standings and throw this up here for a second. Some surprising things here. Let's start with the big one in the room. Washington Justice.
Oh, I got some things to say.
Fell off the face of the earth this week, going 0-2, -6. No maps this week. Joe, take it away.
We haven't seen...
Say it.
We haven't seen Vancouver yet without a main tank, and I don't think it's been announced on who is coming to replace Shredlock. Rest in peace. You know, hopefully, you know, you find you know, wherever you're headed, best of luck. The Washington Justice may be the worst team in the league right now.
Ooh,
we haven't seen Valiant. We haven't seen Vancouver. But of the teams I've seen thus far, I think Washington Justice is the worst.
In this meta, right? Yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt in my mind.
I don't know. I will say, where's Decay?
He's sorely missed on a lot of these maps.
By the way, I'm on vacation. I haven't had the I completely checked out. Like, I have no idea. I didn't ask anyone. But where's Decay?
I don't know,
dude. Like, I have no idea. I think like there's a like realistic option depending on the heroes played. That those were Jerry's heroes. I know in the post-match interview with that I had, it was like McCree, Reapers, just played by Jerry. But like it feels really
a lot of Widow.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of the same things on every map into the same comps. Like this to me, I don't think the Justice are a bad team. I think this hero pool has caught them horribly from a bizarre angle. They're running the same comp, what feels like 90% of their rollouts. It's still Wrecking Ball. I have it here. Wrecking Ball, Diva, Echo, on a Mercy with like a mid to long range hit scan for Jerry. Just it could be McCree, could be Ashe, could be Widow, depending on the map. It is what it is. They do make swaps, but it feels like it's so terribly late. I think Assassin's been playing not well on Echo. I'm gonna get back on my dupe train. Bad dupes all around. A lot of support dupes. Not here for it. Not here for it. Not about it. Max Ball, not great. Zero presence. I know that Ball doesn't make space, but boy howdy does this kid just sit on the flank for 90% of these fights. When they played against Paris on Rialto, he literally rotates around the map, you know, sits and waits for his team to get set up, and then Paris just walks into them. They have no idea what to do. They're lost. They do not know how to play this meta. I would be shocked. What are their next opponents?
I mean, a lot can happen. The thing is, it doesn't.
They play Mayhem and Shock
matter
though.
For June, right?
I mean, yeah, they're pretty
that's
much
a
out.
rough one.
The schedule basically is
Audi.
like you might as well just pack it up.
Audi.
It's tough. It's tough. Like you have to make up so much ground. Yeah. It's Justice look bad. And if they had Decay, I think when you saw them succeed, it never felt like they were actually able to engage because Mag is consistently playing ball and consistently just like having to two-step setup where he kind of rolls around, sits like 90 miles away from his team, and then tries to set up like a roll-in engage from the back, which has its merits and it is successful, but that's exactly what you know what he's going to do every single time. And I think Paris shut him down expertly. I think Khan has played out of his mind. And I think that was like a masterclass on how you're supposed to beat the Justice right now. But something's got to change. Something has to change. And this has to be a gigantic wake-up call for them moving forward, because again, there's going to be a big change. And if they want to pack it up now and just kind of move into maybe scrimming off of the hero pools, it still doesn't make up for the fact that before we get into playoffs, there's going to be another hero pool. So this really can't happen again. They can't afford to have this happen again if they want to actually kind of salvage the season. Feels a little aggressive, but I think they're going to have to play for at least like a third place in one of these tournaments, one of these monthly events, because they're going to need to make up some ground here. Like these are 2 losses that you want back. Paris, while was close, they didn't win a map, and that means something. You dropped to Boston, and there's plenty to say about Boston as well, but this is not a team that should be dropping this hard this fast. So we got to make some changes. Some serious things have to happen. And yeah, I think you're right. You're rightly questioning where Decay is. I think when you saw them succeed, it was on these like really big, scrappy, kind of just mechanical hero plays. And where's your best player? Where is the all-star carry player that can really kind of win you games kind of by himself sometimes? So, earn you fights that you wouldn't normally necessarily win. We see that with Carpe. You saw that with Ons last season, where he's just like a dominating force. Prophet's another name out there that you can just like, I think Avril kind of said it best regarding Prophet, where he just emanates a pressure just being on the map because he is so lethal. You don't have that lethality with Jerry. I'm sorry. I like the kid. I think he is above average and deserves a spot in the league. But when your back's against the wall like this, when you're down on a 10 count, where's the haymaker? Where is Decay? I hate to just defer to where is Decay. I don't think it's no Decay, no win. But when you look this rough around the edges, yeah, I'd like to see the all-star, please.
Yeah. What a burner. But I think kind of for more optimistic news, there was an uprising this weekend in Boston.
Oh, did you like that one? Did you see the Baroy tweet, John?
No, I missed it.
Oh my God. Let me find it and you guys can introduce like a beautiful score.
Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway.
So the Boston Uprising did go 2-0 with a +6. This was not expected. I believe if we look at I want to look at I don't think I can look at the percentages from last week, but
they were favored for Toronto. Very favored.
Yeah, but anyways, all that being said, Boston being up on top, pretty cool to see. 2-0. Baroy crushing his alma mater, if you will. You
like that? Does it feel good?
Let me see it. Okay, here it is. Feels good to clap those who deserve it. Every single player did well today. Washington tomorrow.
And they sure did wash the Justice quite heavily.
Yeah.
I think this is the Boston I think we all expected coming into the season. Finally kind of kicking off, finally kind of, regaining some ground. I don't think this is so much of a turnaround as an actual emergence. Like we're actually seeing what this team can do. I hold slight reserves I think Valentine coming into week 2, in their last 2 games, I think he has to tone it back a little bit unless they have some more tailored strats. Obviously, things can change. I don't think we're settled on a meta just yet, so to be determined on that. But I think Valentine is playing well, but it's the aggression and the kind of island centric play style that he has that is causing him to get caught out, but it is kind of netting them a lot of kind of hero plays, a lot of picks that you wouldn't normally expect. But it's kind of a give and take, kind of double-edged in that way. He's playing with literally no resources, which is kind of almost terrifying to think about if they actually put a Mercy behind him and maybe gave him a little protection and maybe had him play with the team a little bit. But he is like perma-flanking, no Mercy. They're playing just on a brig on some of their control maps and, finding a lot of success with it. Looking really strong. Granted, I don't think the Justice game was a good determiner of how good this team is, so we'll kind of have to see in a way what this Boston Paris game looks like, and then wrapping up with, is that their final game? No, it can't be, right? They play 4. You play 4 or 3 games? Am I like high?
4.
It's their last game.
Am I like high?
Yeah, am I like high on Molly? Glads?
Wait. What's your question?
Who is their last game? Is it okay? I'll just trust it as Glads because I don't see it on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's Glads.
Yeah, I don't know what Glads looks like. Paris actually looks kind of strong, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think people are kind of sleeping on Paris, and I think Dredro has found a meta that he's going to excel at just because he's playing his like kind of signature hero. Not to say that Neptuno was bad, but I think Paris is kind of really coming into their own. So yeah, Boston kind of has a test coming up. So far so good. Could definitely lead into a June Joust appearance. So yeah, I'm happy to see it. Again, another competitive team kind of coming up the ranks. So I'm here for it.
Yep.
Let's go on the other side for a second, and we need to talk about the East side. What the happened with Hangzhou?
What happened? It's still kind of baffling to me, to be completely honest. When you look at the Shy Architect DPS line, you think you kind of know what you're going to get. You're like, oh, yes, Shy, the tried and trusted hit scan DPS player, plays Tracer, plays most of the hit scans very well. Makes sense. Look at Architect, you're like, oh, yes, the Echo player, the Flex, the person who can shoot projectiles. Funnily enough, they both do it all. Who knew? Kind of following in Architect's footsteps in a way, kind of coming in. We think we have him pinned down on what he's going to play. Turns out he can do a whole hell of a lot more than we expected. Same thing with Architect when he kind of, it's insane.
Talk about another player that's going to be safe for the next game.
Yeah, 100%.
Oops, sorry. Forgot to click the thing.
It's okay. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do with a team like that? I think they're finally kind of clicking. I need to do a whole lot more studying to give you kind of like more salient results of the Shy collapse, but it really does feel like the coaching change severely affected them in a very positive way. I think MZD has been playing out of his mind. I don't think he gets the love he deserves. I don't need to really talk much about Gusha. And same thing with Shy. Like this is the team that I expected to come into the season and perform. Did I think they were going to beat the Shanghai Dragons? No. Did I say that they were? Yes. Did I go back on my word? Yes, of course I did. I'm not that crazy.
You didn't pred it?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
You coward. Oh. You absolute coward.
I saw Shanghai come in. They looked strong against Chengdu. I was like, I'm already falling behind. Let me, stick to my guns. You know what? I'm over this. I'm going to pred my whole list a month in advance, and I'm just going to let it rock and see what happens, because every time I change my predictions, I always end up getting them wrong anyways. So I'm kind of over it.
Guys, the beauty of this week was that Joe harassed me constantly with being behind him in pick'ems.
Oh my God.
And then this week, I just got it all back based on Scrimbucks. I got it back so hard. I was at one point, for June Joust, top 10 world. 6 to 10 in terms of points. And then I kind of messed it up on the last NA games. But yeah, no, like, I mean, it was a wild week. Could have probably leaned a little bit more into Scrimbox even. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's unpredictable. Let's be really honest. Like, there's no information that you gained that weekend where you just go, oh yeah, I got all those right. Like that, especially in APAC, where it's just like, you know, that circle of awful. I honestly think like I'm not happy with how APAC is playing at the moment. Like, I thought in terms of like already teams weren't fulfilling their potential, and yes, some are picking it up now, especially Spark. Yeah. But everyone else is dropping the spaghetti. Like, where is the team, the Fusion that were like super nice with it? Or
it's also like they don't have their roster there.
I mean, fair, but like they didn't have it in stage 1 as well. Okay, that's a justified thing. But like Shanghai isn't looking amazing. Chengdu is Chengdu zoning. Like,
agreed.
What's going on? Like, this region is not like super consistent in the way that we were used to it last season.
Agreed.
I think it's just like straight up, especially like, I don't want to make the comparison. I just look at those rosters, I look at their performance and think, you guys have like 20 to 40% more performance in you than you're showing us. And like, get it together so we can watch some good Overwatch.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh,
I think you're like, John, you have 20 to 40% more performance in you. It's like, you know what? F you, okay?
I could be a CrossFit trainer that with a line like that.
you got like 20% more. Sorry, I derailed you.
No, like I mean, it's a really frustrating region to predict and follow at the moment, in my opinion. I don't find those exciting. Get off my back. It's not exciting if you.
It doesn't that he doesn't find them exciting. He just doesn't like the ambiguity of potentially totally being wrong about his read on the meta. And
I mean, yes, in part too. That's true as well.
What it is.
Like, I like games like 50-50s on paper being like
close game,
or every like 50-50 games in every sense. Almost every result is sort of exciting because you don't know where it's going. Yeah. If every game is you don't know where it's going, then it's like, I just will like play professional coin flipping at that point. Like, it's I don't know. I hope. And then again, we saw a lot of meta volatility volatility in results in the first week at the start of the season too. So maybe I shouldn't be too quick to judge it like this. I think generally speaking, they like the better teams got better the longer the stage went or the cycle went on, and I think it benefits also teams like Lads. I think like Lads is probably just also based on their strength of schedule a shoe-in for this tournament as well.
We'll see. I mean, are they though?
I think
I don't know
really
that they are,
as far as I recall.
They have Vancouver's a gimme. Boston, I don't think is a gimme at this point. Paris, I don't think is a gimme at this point. And then they end with Atlanta. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks like on paper. But like, if you're Glads, you got to beat that.
Yeah, sure. That's what we said. Melee, and look what happened.
Nah, they gotta go. Like, it should be 3-1. It should be 4-0.
Should be.
I allow a 3-1. Like,
I think I'm allowing a whole lot more.
Like, no. Everything else with that roster is disappointing. For sure.
Look at Justice. I would not be shocked.
That's disappointing too.
Yeah.
But it's fine because they at least went 4-0 in the first stage. Like, there's at least something going on there. Like, back-to-back 2-2 with that cycles with that roster. No. At that point, like, you're sweating about your season playoff chances.
Yeah. I have not seen enough, especially, obviously, we haven't seen Glads win the hero pool meta yet.
Cool.
But this is one that is a gamble, it feels like. I don't think anybody's safe. I don't think anybody's coming in above, like I said last week, like these 90% favorites. It's absurd. I don't think you can be certain until we enter what, week 7?
Yeah.
Week 8, that, you know, we've seen a lot of these teams, and even then, you can have poor performances on the day. You can have styles kind of mismatching.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody right now, to be completely honest. I wouldn't be shocked if Valiant came out and performed respectively well.
Mm.
Wouldn't be too terribly surprised, to be completely honest with you. Another one, you know, you want to tout some scrimbucks with New York? How do they lose to Charge, bud?
I don't. Oh, dude, I was really mad. I was really mad about that result.
He
God,
wouldn't let
come
me.
on,
He would
dude.
shut up about New York, and
Oh
then
my
just get
God.
moved on.
It's just like knees weak, arms are heavy, dude. Like spaghetti everywhere in that series. What is going on? You can't do that on back-to-back days. That's just not possible, dude. Like, it looks like you got your stuff figured out, and then you play like no. I'm mad. At that point, I'm mad. Yeah.
Did Charge have a head coach yet? Or are they just like still keeping that one a secret?
Is it bad that both of those teams just like start clapping as soon as the head coach is out? Or not clapping, but like significantly improving?
It definitely doesn't help the stigma on coaching.
Like,
and
I
coaching.
understand if stuff just changes when like a new head coach comes in and you have the same amount of people working on the job and you got a new philosophy and everyone can pull together. But this feels like everyone's been let go from jail and now they're living their best life. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
Like,
I think this goes for a lot of different esports, but this is an opinion that I've kind of followed from League into Overwatch, is that a lot of the times teams are just like shitty morale. I don't think teams can like accurately, I mean, when I say teams, I mean players and maybe organizational staff could accurately tell you why the coaching is bad, or could give you like a definitive reason. What they're really saying is our morale's low. We don't want to be here. We need something to change, and none of us want to leave. So make a decision.
I think for Pageant in particular, I think there's now enough evidence to believe that he just has a really defined idea how he wants to play his team to play Overwatch. Sure. And if your team doesn't vibe with that or isn't fine-tuned towards that, you will have a problem.
Just another great example of a team that feels like, and I would suspect, was built beforehand and then had a head coach plugged into it. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
I can't comment on that. I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure either. I think it's speculative, but it feels like a great representative of that, where you have a coach that has a definitive way he wants his roster to work, is given the roster, doesn't get to build it, is given the roster doesn't vibe, coach doesn't vibe, wrong coach, wrong team. Yeah. Adios. And look what happens, right? Like, I think it's a good example of that, even if it's the timelines are a little askew, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard team to coach just because like there's
so many players.
So many players, different nationalities, different pressures from the outside who you want to or have to field when you believe maybe that someone else is better. It's not an easy job for sure. And I'm looking forward to who's going to step in there. I mean, to be fair, they're doing pretty well right now. So who's the interim? Is it Andante?
I'm not sure. Chat will definitely let me know. I think Spark has one, but I don't think Charge does. I think Charge has been keeping it hush hush. Let's take a look inside a book. It's reading Rainbow. Andante becomes interim head coach. Mentalist joins teams as assistant, and then Charge is still like up in the air.
Yeah. Andante, by the way, low key, not a name that we talk about enough. Like, this guy has been part of some pretty good teams in his past. That's definitely an interesting character.
GC Busan Wave, Titans last year or 2 years ago. It feels like it's last year. Holy, I can't believe I said that. And then Spark this year as head coach. So
yeah.
Somebody who is kind of testing the chops, you know, kind of cutting their teeth now, and could kind of persist with the team moving forward. And I wouldn't be mad at it. I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of people I trust, and
Yeah,
Dante's the real deal. Excited
for sure.
to see him get a chance and actually find success. So shout out to him.
Could see if this continues. Why would you not just give him a second like assistant coach or as two, right? Like,
yeah, you're gonna need it with this big of a roster if you continue with it.
I mean, who's really on the market? Like
I think it's time teams start to really kind of take chances on assistant coaches because it's not getting any easier. And you like that's the position you want to just kind of gamble with. I don't think you want to gamble with head coach. I think you want like a definitive like structure person at head coach, and then bring in the assistants who can do the VOD review, do whatever else you need, do the people managing skills that you can build and test for and that kind of thing. So.
Oh, here it is. I mean, I was thinking that Kenobi, but the thing is, I'm not sure what the circumstances surrounding No Hill are.
Yes.
Because it appears to be really hard to get reliable sources out of that scene in order, like, to have any idea, and maybe you know more, Kenobi, what the reputational stance is of teams towards No Hill. And what his life's position is. I think there was something about finishing classes. It's not optimal for a head coach that's expected to work like 70 to 90 hours. Like,
I agree.
You ain't finishing many classes like as a head coach in that. So.
Ideally, I think the dream scenario for one CEO, Mr. Juice, is that No Hill, this kind of famed coach, somebody who's definitely praised a lot. From the Chinese region goes to charge. Maybe they pick up a former player in Dia to replace Mike Lee, and they finally kind of get the two big upgrades that they've been looking for. Maybe find some consistency, and the charge can actually look more consistent and a little bit more competitive. So I think that's where I'd like to see that go. But we'll see. Obviously, there's some stuff going on there. It sounds like.
Let's take a little time and preview next week's matches here before we wrap up.
Like, oh,
for sure.
Let's start with East. I think we started with West last week, so let's start with the East. We're gonna go to the first match on Saturday, and it's gonna be the Shanghai Dragons versus the LA Valiant. Dragons favored 89-11.
It's a little high, but yeah, I've got Dragons 3-0.
I mean, if not, like, okay, 3-1, whatever. Just like, oh my God. Like,
yeah,
I will put a hole in this wall if this is close. Like, I'll tell you straight up.
I mean, who did Moon just sign? I'm just saying. Who
Dude, this is... We talked about Moon shit on the last episode, and then this man signs, who are you, bro? Like, I don't know. At this point, I'm ready to give WhoRu a crypto wallet, so he apparently also doesn't have to play Overwatch after this.
That boy is a bag secure.
Unreal, right? Like, wow. I mean, they must just see like the potential in the guy, and
I mean, the kid is cracked. He can play some stuff really well.
Yeah, but it's
very
like,
specific.
Bro, this reeks of Mendo syndrome, where it's like, oh, I'm the head coach that finally fixes the boy wonder. Yep, where it's like, come on, man. Like, it has been tried so many times. Why?
Yep.
I don't know.
Shanghai for you, you'd say?
Yes. 3-0. Hopefully no points.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let's go to the next one then. NYXL versus Seoul Dynasty. 78% Seoul on this one.
I actually haven't put in, but I'm going to say 3-1. I'll lock it in now, and I'm not touching it.
3-1 Seoul?
3-1 Seoul.
I don't want to predict this.
Well, you have to, so pick one.
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
This team has hurt me a lot. Both of those, actually.
No shit. Maybe it's because NYXL ain't as good as you think.
Dude, it's basically the situation is currently, I'm sitting here, and there's two bear traps, one on the left and one on the right. I'm just like, which hand do I put it in, dude?
I agree, but I think I trust one team a little bit more.
Overwatch League edition.
Okay, I'll go Seoul just because it's the sensible thing to do. And win.
All right.
I can't wait for you to switch your Preds.
Couple of coward picks to start. Let's go to NYXL versus Valiant.
Okay, this is where I'll actually give Valiant a map, and I'll say 3-1 New York. boring, safe. I know. I got some spicy ones. Don't worry. They're coming.
Yeah, I think I'll go 3-0 New York.
All right, and then Seoul versus Shanghai.
I have Seoul here 3-1.
Why though?
Why though?
Why, though?
I don't think Shanghai's been all that good. I'm ready to trust Seoul a whole lot more than what I've seen from Shanghai thus far. Same reason why I initially preded Spark last week. Yeah, I think there's a lot to kind of be excited about or kind of look forward to regarding any kind of like messiness in the meta when you have an all-star like Prophet, when you have somebody that can at least reach a similar or at least touch similar peak like Fitz. This team has depth to it. I think creative has definitely swayed my opinion. Just on paper, I think they can compete with the Dragons that is looking a little kind of worse for wear from what we've seen. So yeah, I think Seoul could catch them looking. Obviously, it'll kind of depend on what they show versus New York. I think this one could change for me just because I haven't seen Seoul, but
For sure.
out of the gate, yeah, I'll say Seoul for sure.
I mean, this is the principal game of where you just jump ship as soon as you see the first games and the results there, right?
Yeah.
Like if Seoul loses against that NYXL team,
Yeah, you're probably not beating
over,
Shanghai,
right?
But there again, hero pools. I've seen crazier things. So
I mean, yeah, it's a
Paris Eternal beat Washington Justice 3-0, and that was.
Nah, I'm going Shanghai 3-1.
Fair enough.
All right, let's jump over to the West, and we've got London versus the Dallas Fuel kicking off Friday at noon Pacific. And this one's got Fuel 92.
What are you making a face for?
I want London to be better, man. I kind of expect it a lot, and I know they're playing on ping, and there's a lot there, but yeah, I'm not impressed thus far, and it's disappointing. So yeah, I got to go Fuel 3-0.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you got to, like, in my mind, I asked this, like, Commander X, where I had, like, a post-game interview with him this weekend. They don't think about it this way, but in my mind, my gut intuition is like you cut the season in half and make it, like, pre- and post-Sparker. Hope for a good meta role in, what's the Summer Showdown? Yes, yep. Summer Showdown. I was like July.
Jamboree.
Yeah. So yeah, no, like this is a rough stage overall for London, and 3-0 Dallas.
All right, let's go to Gladiators versus Titans. 82% LA here.
I would shrink that down quite a lot. I don't trust Glads as far as I can throw them. There's a whole lot of people to throw, so it ain't gonna be far. I do have them winning, but I think this is going to be like a close 3-1, maybe even a tied map in there. I think this might actually go the distance in ways. So I do have Glads winning, as I do think they should win. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was a little dicey.
Yiska?
I don't like you right now.
Yeah, we know. We've known that for a long time.
Dude, like, nah, this better be an Omega Stomp, dude. Like,
when you come into the May Melee with as much prep as you're going to get all season long and you go 2-2, that doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence for me.
Isn't this the first match in a month?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot could have changed.
Observation.
Agreed.
Well, yeah.
A lot could have changed. I'm willing to be have my opinion swayed, but I do not trust this team right now. No.
Who plays
spawn
main
camping.
tank for Vancouver this week?
Yeah,
couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, my
still
gut
think it's
feeling
way
tells
closer,
me.
huh?
I'll give it to him. I don't think I see where you're headed.
Joe, I got a tweet from 2017 for you on that one.
What?
You know, the Changsick.
Is it Changsick?
I mean, that's the rumor, right?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's a blast from the past. We'll see.
Yeah, that tweet came in 2017 where I said he should have retired. Then he made me sort of regret my words during Pony, even though like that was also like a boost job by half the team, especially Alarm. And then like apparently, I don't know. I mean, I'm 37 is now one of the best players in the Overwatch League at the moment. So what do I know? Like,
I wouldn't even go that far.
boy is cracked at the moment, dude. Like the boy is cracked at the moment. By the way, that's a misjudgment. And then also, okay, let me just get this out, like on this podcast still. I was wrong about Leaf. I was so wrong about Leaf. I was so astronomically, absolutely, like atrociously wrong about Leaf. This boy is zero washed. He's dirty, is what he is. Like he's crusty dirty at the moment. Yeah. Nah. That boy's
China's got some talent, man. I'm telling you.
Of course, Kenobi.
The CEO
Kenobi wasn't even watching.
No, he just tunes in.
Kenobi was like in the shower.
He wants
Kenobi
to use
was in
that
the shower.
for
Someone said it.
he wants to use it for our annual reviews. He goes, here you are, admitting you're wrong. Why do you deserve a raise? You were wrong. Houston Outlaws versus London Spitfire, 91% Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not much to say.
San Francisco Shock versus Toronto Defiant, 86% Shock.
It's another one that I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I can't go Toronto. I can't go Toronto. Okay. I'm not that crazy. I am going to give them a map. And knowing, yes, with Vancouver, this is going to sound very similar. I think this could be a little closer than people expect or people give Shock credit for. It's a weird hero pool. They're not. I don't know if I'm comfortable saying this right now, but I think there is questions around their consistency as of late. Do we see more Violet DPS? What does that mean for the roster at large? Is there any kind of changes coming? I'm on shaky footing with the Shock as of right now. I think I wouldn't be shocked if they come out 3-0. It looks decisive. They look super great. Fantastic. I also wouldn't be surprised if they come out with Violet on DPS, Twilight playing main tank, and Super playing Genji. I don't know. I could not tell you right now because this team's kind of all over the place. Still doing relatively well, but I don't know how to feel about them. I don't know exactly who's playing what or why they're playing it. So who's to say?
Let's also be real. If they actually lose that match, I mean, you can lose against the Fuel. I don't have a problem with that.
Sure.
That said, if you go 0-2 in this week, dude, like your era is over. Like, yes, we can talk about like the Houston game being sort of fluky. You already didn't make the tournament. You're not going to make the tournament again then. Okay. Your era is over. Yes, you can like probably still try to go for the 3-peak and peak late. But your era of dominance of like getting into every single tournament ever and like only missing this semifinals like once or like, no, that's a different
dominance feels on its last legs. And the June Joust has to be kind of a return to form for them if they want to kind of keep that era of dominance. I don't think they're I kind of measure that a little differently where it's like, yes, they're dominant, but I think like the Shock era, if that makes sense, in a more broader sense, could still be. I'm not willing to kind of write them off until we see the close of the season, where I wouldn't be shocked if, funny pun intended, not really intended, that they come out, in the finals and actually win and capture the 3-peat after kind of having a mediocre season. Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I wouldn't write them off just yet. Dominance wise, yeah, I agree. Like it's on the horizon for sure. But yeah, I have Shock winning. Sorry. Long-winded way to say Shock wins.
Jeez. All right. Atlanta Reign versus LA Gladiators, 74% Reign.
Okay. I'm going to rob my sanity. This is a sleep stealer. Like
sleep stealer. This should be a great game.
Yeah, but like I don't know what to pred here, dude.
Okay, here, I'll help you. You should pick Atlanta.
I'm picking Gladiators. Scrimbucks, baby! Woo!
I hate that you can just bring that out, just break the glass and just hand wave away. Yeah, I like what I've seen from Atlanta thus far, and I think that they're going to perform well. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Jets, even though you haven't seen them yet.
Yes.
Okay, here, I'll give you this. If Gladiators comes in against Vancouver and actually like struggles a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
no more Scrimbucks.
Like, if they actually lose a map, I'm the first person in the tools, like beating the actually like slugfest speed at which the side can sometimes move, and will change my pred instantly. Because that shouldn't happen. Like, this team should absolutely like make a statement this week.
Sure. Do you expect them to?
I don't know, man. But when in doubt, Scrimbucks out. Like, so yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for sure. This is one where I will change my friends probably. Currently, I have a 3-1 Gladiators,
and that's fair. I think that's fair. I think reasonable. You want to see the team. You want to see them play. Can change on the fly. Moving next on to Toronto, Houston. I don't think this is too crazy. I've got this Houston 3-1.
Okay. I was about to say, like, you were already like trying to just like talk yourself into like defiant shock, like sort of like fever dreams. I was like, is he about to, like, after that week with people on COVID and stuff, like, is he going to justify himself into saying
again? These are all locked in beforehand. I know nothing about no COVID. I know nothing about Vancouver Titans swapping their main tank out. These are like weeks in advance. I'm over trying to swap.
Why?
I hit a lot more, and this is literally like a better's like fallacy, where I think I'm actually more accurate. Like, the farther out I pred, it's just not true. I'm guessing. But I've swung and missed way too many times just changing my preds. So yeah, I'm sniping.
You've done this. Oh my god!
I still predded Houston. I just gave Toronto a map.
What a terrible take, dude! Like, wow.
Yeah,
oh my god. How many weeks
ahead?
Yeah.
Oh, I usually do it like at the start of the week. So like Monday morning, I'll like wake up.
Oh, I thought you were weeks ahead.
Oh, no. I can't go that far.
Okay.
Not with hero pools.
Nah, okay, that's fine. I thought you went like,
like
6 weeks in advance. I predded like
no.
Because I'm better that way. I'm like, wow.
No, just a week.
I'll take the robot voice back then. Was it the robot voice?
Yeah, it was the robot voice.
Okay. Right. Yes.
He enjoys his stream deck, John.
I do.
Oh, do you have voice mod on it?
Yeah. It sounds like it, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Dang it.
So where are you going? Are you going Houston?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
3-1.
So let's go second to the last one of the week. Vancouver Titans versus Atlanta Reign.
What was that? Are you
That's a beating. That's a beating.
This is why, for any of you aspiring content creators out there, look at Joe and Yiska's webcam framing and just do the opposite.
I can't do anything.
Just do the opposite.
No, I purposely hit that hand.
Yeah.
Everyone already knows.
In case you haven't been able to tell, I stopped trying to just to manage those windows. We just leave them.
Sorry.
We just leave them there.
Yeah.
We do.
I mean, I might as well get my tag like tattooed on my chin or something at this point.
Yeah.
That would be actually like a really funny, like, if unfortunately we won't be going to BlizzCon together this year. But to like get a little like name tag thing that's on your chin that's just in the font. It's like the white tag board with just our font on it.
Would it be obnoxious to wear your own merch to like an event? That feels obnoxious.
That's a reason to do it.
To an event, maybe. Like in your own content, though, no.
Yeah. That I could get. But like just showing up to an event like, hey, like our merch.
Yeah.
You know. Anywho.
Komorowski, the difference is that they're only taking up like 15% of the thing. So like it won't auto frame.
I don't know why.
that.
I can't fix it though. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I really don't care that much. So yeah, anyways, both on rain, great.
Yep.
We're ending this one up with a probably maybe
Ooh.
really scary one here. The Dallas Fuel versus the San Francisco Shock.
Okay. This is gonna offend some people, I think. But I have Shock winning this. Dallas is another team that I think people are going to ride very high on, and for a rightful reason. But I think this hero pool has shown that it is a big shift away from what we assumed we knew from the Melee. And if you go back to the last show, I think it was Dallas, Houston, and there's one other team. Oh, Justice. Those were like my three teams that I was like kind of, shifty on. What are they going to look like? Are they going to, march in with the same dominance? I hate giving Shock the benefit of the doubt here, going, oh, maybe this is scary Shock. Maybe they've woken up a little bit. It's, getting into midseason, so maybe they can bring that consistency. I'm willing to trust the team that's won 2 world championships more so than the team that had to kind of align the stars in a magical storybook way. Respect to them. Love what I saw. I don't know that they can bring that same level come hero pools. I am kind of concerned. And it's not even like I can change my opinion all that much because they play the one in Spitfire.
Yeah, they don't have great reflectors, so to speak. Like we won't. Even the Defiant aren't a great reflection of what the Shock will be capable of, probably. But if they struggle against the Defiant, then I'm going.
Yeah, either way.
I have a 3-2 Shock as well. Very much for the same reasons. Like there's still a lot of built-up belief that this team, like let's be honest, like the season format doesn't help a team like this. Like we know the Shock are slow to a season.
Mm-hmm.
Slow to a season, like 4 games. If you want 2, that's good for a team that starts slow to a season. Now it's an entire cycle. So these things aren't equivalent. I think like unless there's something internally going on, this team probably just like has had a wake-up call after not like making the finals, not going to a Y, and are going overdrive mode. I expect like and they have done it too many times in the past, dude. Like at this point, it's Lindy. Like there just wasn't enough opportunity to mess up once. Like this team has never been perfect, right? Like
oh yeah, for sure.
They're
Definitely.
known for like they never won a season, a regular season or whatever, right? So this format itself is a struggle, but they have demonstrated the ability to come back from big losses and just take that as motivation and just like show the league what they're made of. And they've done it multiple times. Therefore, I have to count on that being the case. I also think that the Dallas situation was a bit of an overperformance. Mm-hmm. Also, the only team that got in with 2-2. So this will be a great match, at least. That's I'm confident in. Shock 3-2 is, I think, the reasonable take here.
All right.
Agreed.
Okay, well, that's our predictions for the week. And I think with that, we're set.
I think that's it. I think that's a show.
It sounds like we want to do a game night on Friday. Our last game night together. We're going to do that at noon. So essentially we're going to miss the London Fuel game. Darn.
Oh no, darn.
To play some games. Bring some drinks and your Jackbox fingers or Among Us fingers maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that and get all the mods and stuff set up and proximity chat, but it's a ton of fun, but it's a lot of work. True. But yeah, so I think that is it. Anything else, or are we ready to sign off?
Do we want to do this now, Mr. German man? All right. If you could, Mr. Horseman, please enjoy this video with the chat from the viewers at home.
What?
We put something together. This is your final show on Tactical Crouch for the foreseeable future. Obviously, Overwatch 2 could bring, some people back. We don't know. But yeah, put together some things to, from the community and some of the highlights of the show.
Okay.
So yeah.
You guys. So should I play this on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can. I hope I can frame it right.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't.
Let me get it close. Give me a second, chat.
It's not sad, chat. We're not going anywhere. We're just shifting games. That's all.
Okay. Let me. Why can I not use my brain? That's how my brain works. I remember now.
I'm kind of putting you on the spot as well. So I think it's
you
fair.
can't really do it a surprise otherwise. I get it.
Yeah, a little bit. I was gonna come in and be like, man, John, this second COVID shot's really got me down. Can we shave about 11 minutes and 57 seconds off of the but I didn't want to be like, hey, this is about me today.
I got this. I'm going to send this audio through to you guys as well.
Oh.
Let me know if you can hear this.
I hear a song.
Okay, great. Yeah, that wasn't. I just wanted to make sure that audio was coming through. 11 minutes. All right.
It is
Here
long.
we go.
It is long. Got some good moments.
Am I gonna cry? Do I need a tissue box? I've had one here on my desk since I'm 13. So since I was 13, so we're nothing. Oh.
Did it full screen? It's just my forehead now.
Oh, it is just your forehead. Dang it! I gotta change.
I do have a big forehead though.
Again.
It just kind of goes back. Inside show, scrimbucks.
Sorry, chat. I know this is not production quality that you have come to know and love.
Okay. We're here to celebrate.
Get used to it. We're taking those stuff.
True.
All right, let's give this a watch here.
Let's do it. Hey, John. Hello, everybody. If we decide to use this on the next podcast, just wanted to kind of throw together some voices, some members of the community that wanted to say a thank you to you, Mr. Horstman, and for putting this all together. And really kind of being the progenitor of a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs, a lot of love throughout the years. Yeah, I guess it has been a lot of years. So the creation of the intro music, numerous memes, hating Toronto, buying a Curry Shot jersey. We just wanted to go over and look at some of the finer moments and give a voice to the viewers like you at home that wanted to say thank you. So. There you go.
Overwatch League Daily, your daily source for Overwatch League news, scores, and more. Here's your host, Kickedtripod.
Let's take it from
the
top.
No reason at all. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. Joe, Yiska, we've been talking about doing this for a long time. I think it was back in, both of you have been on my show, Overwatch League Daily. You both do Volamel's Viewpoints, which is always insightful. And then Yiska, Thinking It Over, a staple of the competitive Overwatch subreddit. Every time you post one, they love it. Every time.
We all know it's about. We all know it's who y'all looking at. Come on.
So
that stupid video that's unlisted of me singing and an NSYNC song.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty locked in that justice at third. Unless we see something different this week.
Wait, why am I saying? Do I believe that?
Hey, KT. Thanks for everything that you've done for the Overwatch community, everything that you've done for Tactical Crouch, the content that you've made, your hosting ability, just everything that you've done for Overwatch has just been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so glad that I got to know you, and I'm so glad that I get to call you a friend, and I hope you take care, and I hope that we see you again soon.
Hey, Joe, they took down our music again, so you need to sing the intro.
Do 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 do. All right, there we go. Intro done. Boom.
Hey, everybody,
Curveball
welcome to
preach.
That was really good.
Done.
You were. I feel like you knew what I was going to ask you. Welcome.
I had no idea. I was just like, I'm ready to do whatever you're about to tell me to do. I was just bought in.
They keep taking down the music on YouTube, even though I've paid for it, and it's like, I dispute it. And they're like, Mineral has no idea what's going on. Just why do I care about this? Hey everybody! Welcome to episode 69 of Tactical Crouch.
Well, solid. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Yeah,
that was well done.
I literally
somehow you made that usable.
I'm like, I have to find a way. So
still haven't figured out the rights issue, huh?
No.
Yeah, nope. So we just got to like do with what we can.
Yeah.
But welcome to episode 69 of Tactical Crouch. Of course, we start this episode with a meme. Just makes perfect sense. I'm Kickedtripod.
Hey John, this is Eric. Congratulations on nearly 3 years of TCP. It's been a lot of fun working with you. I learned a lot, and I look forward to your future endeavors. Cheers.
Eric, by the way, the real fourth host here. Thank you, dude. Oh man, this is not the where I should have stopped it, but okay, here we go. We're dancing. We're feeling really good. Someone just went through my clips.
I mean, I got quiet at the time I was messaging Joe because I was about to put a hole in this fucking monitor.
They're just fucking like knife at your back, just like spamming. I could see the button presses through the Ethernet.
I threw. He's the new Batman.
Chris beat the crap out of you.
Fair. I threw.
So disappointed.
I was so proud of that answer. It's like, it's so good, and it's not Batman.
Hey, Kick, it's Chris. I just want to say I'm gonna miss you, buddy. I hope you continue doing what you do in the future, and still be down to play some Patreon games, man. Good luck, man.
The mid-season break.
Love
Got
you,
a
Chris.
cool opportunity here. Joined by, of course, Yiska and Joe. Good to see you guys. But in the dark. Just completely dark. Might as well not even have his cam on at this point. None other than the godfather, the father of Overwatch stats himself, analyst for the Toronto Defiant, memer, dreamer, and panda cosplayer, Baroy. Baroy, it's good to have you on the show. It only took us 35 episodes.
I feel like I did something horribly wrong. Because this is episode 35. And I'm here, finally.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tactical Crouch, episode 137, brought to you by viewers like you on Patreon. Today, with your usual hosts, the I can give you advice on how to build a Dolby Surround Sound 5 PC streaming setup, John Kickedtripod Hostman, together with none other than
Look at Joe here.
Honey, I just saw this Reddit thread. You start with the foreplay and I will be back in 2 hours. Sasha Yiska Heinisch. And of course, the man who writes so many articles you thought it was 3 different people, but you vividly remember him for predicting China to win Overwatch League Season 12. Joseph Volamel Franco. Today, with a unique guest, 3-time visitor on this show, world-class esports analyst, content genius, #1 panda lover in the world, and famously remembered for his disappointment over finding out that the Cheesecake Factory is in fact not a factory. Dennis Baroy Mats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your episode 137 talent lineup.
KP, just want to say a quick thanks for all you've done for this community. We also owe Katie and Choji and Timo a huge thank you as well for sharing you with us for all these years. Really wouldn't be here and have met this great community if it weren't for the blood, sweat, and tears you put into Overwatch League Daily which I found through the podcast feed through searching, and here I am, however many years later. Top-notch host, top-notch technical acumen, and just awesome guy to go along with it. Thanks, man. We'll miss you, and happy to support whatever future projects you got going on.
Hello there, Mr. Kickedtripod. This is the CEO of the Tactical Crouch podcast, Mr. Juice. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the contributions that you've given to the Tactical Crouch podcast.
Background as
and
Kenobi.
I'm here to inform you that we will indeed be retiring your jersey number after the end of the season. Wait, what? What do you mean he doesn't have a number to retire?
Oh, wait.
Well, then retire his initials. Of course I can do it. I'm the CEO of the Tactical Crouch. God damn it! Retire that man's initials. Don't be a stranger, KT.
Hey KT, it's Chunk. I wanted to thank you for the wonderful hosting you've provided for TCP the past few years. While I'm sure Yiska and Volamel are going to do a great job, your absence is going to be felt, and TCP just won't be the same without you. I wish you the best of luck going forward, whether that's informing the masses on proper audio setups or working on top secret projects. I know you're going to keep killing it. Don't be a stranger around Discord. Make sure to come back for game nights. Much love and respect. See you around, KT.
Ah, John. Didn't see you there. Just getting ready for you for your last episode. You might want to wear your protective headgear for this one. It's going to be rough. It's a bit cringe, let's be honest. I'll just stick through it. I have one take. I don't have enough props. Quick swip. Oh, what that is? I'll never tell you. You have to go to your grave without knowing that one. I learned a lot from you. Like, how not to eat string cheese.
Oh my god.
It's way better. I don't care what age you're eating that.
Is he gonna get the whole thing?
Seriously, I don't think it necessarily needs to be a sad moment, even though I had my sad moments when you told us. I think in many ways, there's a new start where we can, with full force, sprint into Spike Drop and really pursue the things that we want right now. And who knows? Maybe if Overwatch 2 strikes your fancy, there will always be a spot for you on this podcast as far as I'm concerned, as you've helped build it with us. Now, I know you like the German words of the day, so I'll give you this one as a send-off. I think throughout our time when you hosted us, you had a certain Fingerspitzengefühl. And Fingerspitzengefühl is a fairly hard to describe word. It literally translates to the feeling you got in the tips of your fingers. But what it really means is there's someone that in the vast majority of cases knows how to handle it with grace and navigate us through very challenging topics and made us all still have jobs after each podcast recording. And for that, I want to thank you. Looking forward to Spike Drop. Love you.
Well, jeez.
I
love you guys.
All thanks to the community. I put it together, but they did a lot of the legwork, sent in a lot of clips and shit.
You can edit videos like that, and I've been editing these things for the past 176 episodes.
I mean, I can line up clips on a Vegas film thread. Yeah, I guess.
Oh man, I love you guys so much. To everybody who just thank you. Yiska, wear a robe more often, please.
I was convinced he was going to open it up at the end and like
there was multiple times where I'm like,
he was fiddling with it and I was getting real uncomfortable.
I've got my finger on my stream deck to just be like, we're going out with the demonetization strike. That's how we're tanking the channel. He's just blowing it up before he goes. I really appreciate it. We talked about this 4 weeks ago, but this wasn't a fun or easy choice for me. I don't like, number one, I just don't like quitting things, just period. It's just not really in my nature. another thing is that the show is like truly a highlight of my week, especially now as I'm busier than ever. It's like one of the few times where I can just grab a Born to Run mojito brought to you by, no, just kidding. I needed a drink for this one to get through it. Only 100 calories though, not bad. Now I just lost my train of thought on what I was gonna say. What was I saying, Joe? You were listening.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a very sad thing, and I'm confident it's the right decision. I'm gonna miss the show every single week. Really excited for the opportunities that we might have in the future to work together. Obviously, we're still friends. Obviously, I'll still carry Yiska and Valorant, and
he has been cracking. He's been popping off. I've seen some Twitter clips.
I post
John's
my 40 bombs all the time, baby.
Yeah, does be putting up some numbers.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody in the chat who's said such amazingly nice words, and those who have been in Discord doing the same, in the YouTube comments. Jeez, I don't even know how to repay it in any way, but we won't be strangers. And yeah, I guess we should do a closing one last time.
Let's go.
All right,
let's get it.
Patron producers, we're doing this in one breath.
Let's go.
I can feel it. Big thank you to Refine Bean, Ferdino, Battle Crab Lotion, Rex Zane, Sir Girthlock, Pork Chop, Sammy, Kasha67, Shar, Nathan, Your Misery, Fabled Steven, Roger B, Chris R34444, Bronze Bob Boohow, Hotel Bravo 11, Hunter Tane, Yiska's Opera Scented Shower Gel, and Shonk. Oh, baby.
Wow, you had a lot of air left at the end of that, right?
Baby. Yeah.
Wow.
It's because I've been wearing a mask for the last year and a half and running.
True.
It's like the worst thing to happen to like physical fitness and in gyms is to make people wear masks while they're at it, because you have to cycle your air so much better. Now look at this.
Yeah.
We did it. Huge thank you to everybody, all those patron producers. I love each and every one of you personally. Thank you for supporting the show. I hope you'll continue to support the show while I am not here. If you, I'm sure so many of them supported it just for me. Just kidding. Yes, and if you want to support the show as we move forward, patreon.com/tacticalcrouch is the place to do that. We did get some new subs. Sickles, welcome back. Sad Albatross, welcome back. Chris, thank you so much for the 2 gifted, and Loler Bear with the 5 gifted. Appreciate you all a ton. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and supporting the show through your subs, through your tips, through your patrons, through your kind messages, through your activity on discord.me/tacticalcrouch, where you can go and hang out with us throughout the week. But with that being said, let's do some shout outs for the week and where people can find each of you guys. Joe, you go first.
The shy content that we teased last week is out on GG Recon, so go check that out. Did a small interview with him, so that was really cool to kind of not only follow his career, but also be a little bit more closely related to his career, with doing the English coverage of Chinese contenders way back in the day. So that was really cool, something that John was also a part of. So shout outs to that, kind of a fun little callback. And now finally getting to kind of ask him some questions about where he's headed and what he's got on his mind for the season as a whole. So definitely check that out if you're interested and maybe want a history lesson there. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna start kicking up with the small little analysis shorts and just kind of getting ready for Valorant.
Sweet. Yiska, what about you? What are you up to?
Absolutely nothing. I'm on a break week.
Hey.
The most I do is go for long runs. Otherwise, I'm chilling. I will have post-match interviews this weekend though. And going to have some new teams in there. So excited for that one. Look for more coverage on that. And then next week I'll be back. Hopefully with some feature pieces.
Sweet. Well, as for me, I'll sign off last. If you want to stay in touch with me, post Tactical Crouch. Twitter.com/Kickedtripod is where I'm on Twitter, and I only am arguing with people about audio stuff half the time. The other half of it is actually pretty good. Discord.me/Kickedtripod, especially if you're into like the content creation, nerdy culture type stuff. It's just kind of a great smorgasbord. I don't think I've ever said that word. I think I've heard it hundreds of times, read it a few times.
And you're never sure if you say it right.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird. But discord.me/Kickedtripod is where you can find me. And then if you want to stay in touch on the YouTube side of things, I have all of my, I have my own little personal YouTube. I actually hit YouTube Partner Program today. My application was approved, got over 1,000 subs this past week. Thanks, Yiska, for the signal boost and everybody else.
Sure.
And I posted a video this morning about audio stuff, and I usually post every 1 to 2 weeks. And so you Kickedtripod YT on YouTube is where you can find that. I think that's everything. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for hanging out. For those of you who are asking where the show is going to be next week, stay tuned on Twitter, tactical_crouch, or in Discord, discord.me/tacticalcrouch. The announcement will be there. The shows, if you don't consume it live, it'll be at the same spot. So it'll be on YouTube, youtube.com/tacticalcrouch, or on your podcast feed. That won't change at all. So don't worry about that. Okay, that's going to do it for 176. We'll see you next time for Tactical Crouch.